So this tutorial is how to take a photo from the internet, change it into a large poster for our holiday buffet that is gray, black and white with an added color. So we're going to start out by doing a image search, and I found one that I'm going to use. I want to make sure that it has a good pixel depth. So this one says that it's 2,560 pixels by 1440. Even though our posters are portrait, I picked a landscape one because I liked it. The other reason is I want to show you how to crop this down. So the first thing we do is we go to View Image after we find the image that we like. So I'm going to click there. Then this is the actual image here, which I'm going to right click or control click, say Save Image, and I'm going to say Save Image As. This has a pretty descriptive name, so I'm just going to keep it like that. I'm going to put it in my Documents folder for now. Next step is to open it up in Adobe Photoshop. So I'm going to go Open, go into my Documents, and open up this photo. Next thing, I want to make sure it's the right size. In Photoshop, remember this. You always have to work at your final size, because if you try to blow it up big after you're all done, you may not be happy with the result. So here we go. I'm going to go to Image, Image Size, and see exactly how big this is in inches. And right now we see it's 35, a little over 35 inches, but only 20 inches high. So it is going to get a little bit quality is going to go down just a little bit. So what I would do is, since I need this to be 48 inches high, I can go like this and then crop it down. This is one way of doing it, but there is a shortcut. I'm going to click my crop tool. I'm going to click where it says W plus H plus or width times height times resolution. Okay, that's what the W and H is. I'm going to put my width, which is 36 inches. Make sure it's in inches. And my height is 48 inches. And I'm going to do this at 72 pixels per inch. You can see this, so I can decide where I want my crop to be. So I'm going to do this because I want this path to be in there. And then I hit the return or the enter key. What that will do is that will automatically not only crop it, but make it the exact size that I want. If we go back into image size, you can verify this, go to inches here, you can see that it's 36 inches by 48 by 72. All right, so far so good. I'm going to click on my layer panel. I dragged it off so that it will stay open, and I'm going to click the lock. What I'd like to do now is to make my image black and white. So I go to Image Adjustments, black and white. And here I have blue filter, red filter, makes, anything that's blue basically darker. The blue filter basically makes anything that's blue lighter. So you can see there's not a lot of detail in here. If we just kind of go to maybe neutral density, kind of keep that snow in there visible. See, I just want you guys to be aware of all this stuff. So that actually might be really nice. I'm going to go there. I'm going to make a copy by dragging that onto the new layer dialog right here. So that makes a brand new layer. I didn't want to make a third new layer, so I'm going to delete that. Alright, so now what I can do is I'm going to hide my top layer for the moment. I'm going to go down to my bottom layer. I'm going to make that a color. So I'm going to go to Image Adjustments again. This time I'm going to go to Hue Saturation. And I'm going to click Colorize. What Colorize does is it colors the entire image based on whatever hue you have selected. So yeah, I'm not sure if green would be the good one for this one. Maybe like a purple, like that. That looks really kind of cool. So I'm going to say OK. And I accidentally clicked off of that. Let me do that one more time. Adjustments, use saturation, colorize, and I'm bringing it into that purple range. Okay, and you can lighten it up or darken a little bit depending on your image. For this one, I think I'm just going to leave it basically where it was. All right, so we're going to say OK. Now on my top layer, I'm going to poke a hole through it using the mask tool. So I'm going to click here. The mask tool looks like a piece of paper with a hole cut in it. Whatever you paint using the paintbrush right here, whatever you paint is going with black is going to poke a hole in this mask that I have here. So say you can choose the size of your brush. I like using a fairly large brush to start, and not a super hard brush, but maybe pull that back a little bit. Now when I paint, you can see I'm actually poking a hole in that layer. The nice thing about this, as long as you're on the mask, which is this second icon in your layer, okay, if I change my paint color to white, I'm flipping back and forth, I can paint the paper back in here. So it's much more flexible than just simply erasing and then undoing. I can paint, I could go back, and if I paint with this whole thing with white, it's like starting all over again. So I'm going to go back in here with my black, and I want to put some color in the background here. Like that. Now I would take my time to do this if I was doing this for real. Also, you probably don't want your snow to be purple, so I'd go back, highlight certain trees, certain areas, and then this one actually is very difficult. Then I would go back with my white. I'd zoom up on this a little bit, and I can make my brush smaller by using brackets. Let's click here. So if I make my brush smaller by using brackets, I can paint with white and get my snow back in those areas that I want it. That's basically it. The last step you do, if I was all done with this, is I would go to File, Save my layered file. I'm going to call it Holiday Trees, then my name, and then today's date, which is 11/2017, and I would save this. Now that gives me a copy that I can work on. The copy that you're going to save to print is, I'm going to go Save As, and I'm going to save it as a Photoshop PDF, which is right here. We're going to save it as a copy without layers. So Photoshop PDF as a copy without layers. I'm going to make a screenshot of this for you guys. I'm going to hit save. And then I want high quality print. You can see preserve Photoshop editing capabilities is not checked, and I can save that. And that's the one that you're going to upload to the Google page. Thank you very much.